Welcome back to Professional Wrestling, moonlighting as the Chosen Life podcast. He's back, your favorite, the body man from HPW. He's the one and only Mason Rush.
Great to be back. Great to be back. I'm liking this routine again, I have to say. Summer was busy. There's a lot going on, a lot of nonsense, but it's good to be back.
Well, besides moving a gym, opening a gym, wrestling all these weekends, other than that, there was tons of time, right?
Tons of time. Tons of time. But I do have to say, quick shout out. The local Toronto events that we do are Smash Wrestling. Great events. That's what I'm going to say. I live downtown Toronto. Not many high quality wrestling shows are coming downtown. Smash does it at the Rec Room, and I enjoy watching them. I enjoy helping set up, meeting the wrestlers. They always bring in, they just had Jake Hager, Jack Swaga. But yeah, shout out to Smash Wrestling.
Amazing. Well, a company that does need a shout out, but we're going to give it to them today anyways, is our good friends over at WWE. And so much going on. We got the credits rolling at the end of Raw and SmackDown. Paul Levesque is executive producer now.
I know.
He's everywhere. And so many things are on my mind. So I want to kind of go through our thoughts of where WWE is at going into 2025. First and foremost, how you liking a 2-hour versus 3-hour Raw?
I like the 3-hour Raw. Listen, at the end of the day, if you want to only watch 2 hours, watch 2 hours. If you want to watch all three, watch three. The fact that it's on just gives you the option to watch it for longer. But with that being said, the 2-hour does let you go to bed a little earlier, right? You finish at 10 instead of 11. That's a big difference. But my brain, my timing is used to that 3 hours. So when it cuts off after the 2, I kind of want a little more.
Well, a little confession now. I like to confess during our sessions here. It's a little bit of therapy for me.
Yeah.
So watching it on Canadian TV as I do, I have the option to tape it. And then I don't start always watching at 8. I can start at 9. And then I can fast forward the commercial. So a 3-hour Raw becomes 2 hours, 20 minutes, give or take. I'm wondering, look, if it's 2 hours, I'll take it. If it's 3 hours, I'll take it. I'm seeing, though, like the first Raw that was 2 hours, I got to say, I thought there'd be more oomph to it.
Agreed.
I couldn't believe the amount of filler that was still in a 2-hour show.
That's what I'm saying, right? It wasn't like 2 hours of awesomeness. It was just 2 hours instead of 3 hours of the same show, right? So there's a big roster there, and they don't utilize as many people as they can. Maybe because they're not over enough, but there's enough wrestlers in the WWE universe that they filled the 3 hours forever. They should be able to beef up the 2 hour for sure.
I'll give WWE credit. They put people on, and then if there's no storyline working for them, what be it, they're off TV. They might be doing house shows, which are not going to last much longer either. But AEW, you'll have somebody who's been at home for 7 weeks, and then they'll come in. They'll be the main eventer on Dynamite, and then they'll disappear again for another 7 weeks. WWE doesn't pull that on us. So we know consistently who we're going to see pretty much week to week to week. So Netflix, when it comes into play, what are you thinking? Is this going to be, because what I'm understanding is it's going to be 3-hour continuous. They're going to find a way, if they're going to do the commercials, that you're going to have kind of the split screen, but a real interest. One of the things they were raising online was the idea, if we do the split screen during commercials, for example, if we show the actual finish during the commercial, that'll make people watch the split screen. Because, generally, we know during the commercial, it's filler time. Mm-hmm. We're not really paying attention to the split screen, even though they think we are. And then we're coming back to the real match. If we're going to miss the ending of the match during a commercial break, may make us watch more. Do you like that idea or not?
I hate that idea. Well, the commercial audio always has precedent over the wrestling audio in that time. So how would you even know, right? Wrestling is so dependent on the commentary. If you can't hear it, it won't have nearly the same effect, right? So people viewing don't realize how much they rely on, whether it's Graves and Cole or Tessitore and whoever Barrett. Yeah. But those announcers, those analysts make a lot of what's going on, right? You watch them botch a move and the announcers are on there making it okay. They're saying, justifying what they did. Oh, you didn't get all of it this time. You fully missed. But, right, they're there to make the wrestlers look and sound better. So you have someone hit their big finisher while you're learning about Bud Light and listening to a Bud Light commercial. I don't think that's going to fly.
I agree with you on that one, 100%. So let me give you a scenario. You're the wrestling fan, right? And only got a limited amount of time and can't sit and watch Raw when it's scheduled. So you got two options. One is you got your office meetings and you're on Zoom, so you can watch Raw, but you got to mute it so you can see the video, but on mute. Or at night when you're cooking, you're going to hear the commentary, but you're not watching much of the video. What's more important, the audio or the video? And if you had a choice between watching or listening that way?
I'd probably listen, to be honest. Listen with a quick glance, right? Is probably, and again, that just goes back to what we were just talking about, which is how important the analyzing and the commentary is, right? It makes the match. So if I can have either no audio and just watch a match, or only audio and kind of, flip my eggs, I would take that any day of the week.
I agree with you as well on that one. I have tried both, and I gotta tell you, watching wrestling with no audio, man, you don't know at all what's going on. You're missing everything. It feels like the match has so little meaning. To me, I feel like almost I could be driving in the car listening to the match on the radio, and it would make more sense for me than video with no audio.
Absolutely.
And this is also the quality of the commentators out there.
Yep.
I hate to admit it. I'm not a huge Michael Cole fan, but yeah, you know what? Listen to Michael Cole.
Yeah, I like
he does give the story behind the story.
Yeah.
I do love the AEW commentators. Love listening to Taz, listening to Shivani, listening to all those guys. The mask guy. Excalibur. And his handle is Shut Up Excalibur on it.
Is it?
Yeah.
That's fair.
Even Daddy Magic. It's amazing what they bring to the table.
Yep.
And the amount that these guys know about wrestling, know the stories. And I'm going to guess they probably don't just show up at 7, 8 o'clock and start commentating. They actually have a game plan. They have a meeting. They have notes. They actually are working off notes. They have stats, information.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's they take it as serious as the wrestlers who are wrestling. A lot of them were wrestlers, most of them. So that preparation, again, this just goes back to all of our shit. Those who prepare better succeed more, right? That's it's the way it works, right? So if you want to be a great announcer, you have to show up early. You have to talk to the wrestlers, find out what their moves are, find out what their finishes are, find out what gets them go, right? You need to know all that. You want to be as involved in the match watching it as the people doing it, because you, again, have to commentate and make them look good, right? If somebody hits a move and you don't know what it's called, you're failing at your job, right? So very important for whether it's the photographer, videographer, the refs, the wrestlers, everyone involved has to be on their game in order for everything to work properly.
So let me ask you some items in my head about where WWE is going and some of their kind of nuances. First of all, Triple H making his appearances, biggest Survivor Series ever, biggest Royal Rumble ever. He's always the one in the freaking press conferences. Do you like Triple H's role? Do you like him being the face of WWE? Is that working for you?
Yeah, I like Triple H. I think he commands a respect that a lot of people don't and can't, simply because he's done it 360, right? Whether it was coming up in, I believe it was WCW as Terrorizing, right? Changing his gimmick to becoming the debutante Hunter Hearst Helmsley. Is that what?
The Blue
right?
Blood.
The Blue Blood, right? And then he's really one of the few guys that continued to progress in an upwards trajectory. He didn't have a gimmick that took him out. He didn't have, right? And he have ultimately found the game, right? And that took him to where we are today, right? So the respect that he has is earned from the fans. It's earned from the locker room. It's earned from back then Vince McMahon and that whole crew, right, who gave him those roles. So yeah, I think he earned everything he has, and I think that everyone respects him and thinks he deserves to be in the position that he's in because he put the work in, right? And sure, you can say what you want, Stephanie, and he's whatever, but he's there and he's running $1 billion business and he's doing a great job.
As far as I know, he's at every single Raw, every single SmackDown, every single PLE. He's probably down over at NXT as well.
Yep.
For entrances, when you heard the song, the game blasting, he comes out, he does the spitting thing. Top 10 entrances in wrestling of all time?
Yeah, I mean, he's had so many different entrances, right? Like he's walked out, he's driven the motorcycles, he's rid the tanks, he's done the DX. Like there's been so many. He's been serious, he's been jokey, he's done so many different variations of similar gimmicks that you see that the guy's a true professional. And who in the locker room wouldn't want to learn and take advice from somebody like that, right? If Triple H tells you something, you listen.
Yeah, and you think about all his factions, DX, Evolution, absolutely. So going from one superstar to another, where's Cody Rhodes at in life right now? Cody, it's funny, a couple of AEW guys coming out saying, hey, you used us as a springboard to get to where you are. Well, I think Cody's loving his life right now as the face of WWE. But, with that return with Roman Reigns and having them as a tag team together, I got to say, man, looking at Cody and Roman, he looked like the weak sister in that one. Like, Roman really overshadowed him. Are we going to see a heel turn with Cody Rhodes? Like, are the fans going to turn on him? Where do you think things are going to go with Cody?
Yeah, I think the last PLE, the Bad Blood that they did, it really, really showed the hierarchy of the WWE, right? So you had the match, right, which was Cody doing his thing. The end of the match, it ends, and then The Rock comes in, right? Like you can see Roman Reigns comes. Like you can see the crowd pops for Cody. Roman comes. It's a whole new level of pop. And the final boss comes out, and it's a whole new level, right? So Cody, in theory, should have one of the biggest fan bases, biggest pops, and his music helps him a lot, right? That entrance that he does. But then a Roman Reigns music hits, and it's like, Cody who? Right? That's aura, right? Like Cody is great. He's a great champion. He's great on the mic. He's great in the, acting, but the aura isn't there, right? Does that make sense? Like, there's if anything about Roman Reigns that makes me cringe. Whereas with Cody, there's multiple things that make me cringe a little bit when he does it.
First thing I noticed in that match, Solo comes out, right? He's the head of the bloodline. He's going to stand around like a doofus listening to Cody Rhodes' theme song and him come and make his entrance. And Cody's a champ, by the way. Isn't it interesting that Cody is standing around now watching Roman and he's entrance?
That's what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
Is like Roman, it's a different level, right? Like that God mode or whatever he used to say, right? It's a different aura, I guess is the best way to describe it. And bringing it back to Cody, we said before, and we'll say it again, Cody is a great chaser. He's a great finish the story, but don't actually, right? He's great at going through the story, being I'm gonna get you one day. It's my right. We all love that, but then you finish the story, and there's right. The sizzle is all gone. Everything's gone, and now it's now what do I do, right? And it just seems like every week gets pretty repetitive until they build a new feud with Roman or The Rock or whoever to take the belt from Cody again. And I don't know that heel Cody would be as popular, but who knows?
Now, I'm a little bit older than you, so I lived through the era of Hulkamania. Okay?
You did.
I'm a real American, and train, prayers, vitamins. And the thing was, that formula worked for over a decade, really easily, okay? And why? Because Hulk Hogan had a bigger-than-life personality. he was huge.
Yeah.
And everybody loved it every day of the week. And you look at Hulk Hogan in his prime versus Cody Rhodes, as far as physique goes, as far as personality goes, Hulk Hogan is way more engaging than Cody Rhodes. And there's a reason why Hulk Hogan worked for that long. Cody Rhodes, on the trajectory he is, can't see this flying, him being the champ now for the next 10 years. Ain't going to happen.
No, no. He, like I said, if he's in a position to challenge for the belt, to chase for the belt, by all means, I think that's the place that he should be. Even having the belt, but not as a Roman Reigns 3-year, 4-year run. Like it's a you hold it so that the face could have the belt for a while, right? A nice guy, kids are happy, but ultimately that has to change.
So let me ask you, let's say we got Solo, we got Roman, we got Final Boss. Like, I think back to the press conference at WrestleMania, which was the biggest WrestleMania of all time, by the way, in Philadelphia, which I was at. Yay.
Yep.
And watching that press conference, and it's funny, you see Cody, then Roman looks so much bigger than Cody, and then The Rock, the Final Boss, comes out. He's so much bigger than Roman. You're putting the belt back on Roman, you're giving it to the Final Boss. Like, who's the guy who's going to take it off Cody at this point?
That's a good question. I think Gunther could unify them. Gunther at some point could unify them.
Around?
I think that an easy one would be Roman Reigns, right? They build up a new feud and Roman takes the right. Like, I don't think Solo Sikoa gets the pop that they hoped he would. With that being said, part of me thinks that his whole gimmick the whole time was to be the joke tribal chief, right? Like, WWE writers played on that, knowing that he would never get over as a tribal chief. And then Roman comes back, and the joke is you're the fake tribal chief, right? Like, so if that was always in the writing, then kudos to them, great job. But I don't see if they were planning on Solo carrying the torch for the next little while for the bloodline, I don't think that he has that in him.
I see Jacob Fatu. If there's anybody who's got that oomph, that pizzazz, I could see Jacob taking the belt off Cody at some point. Maybe they're gonna do a Solo injury and Jacob faces Cody, and then Jacob versus Roman. That's working for me a lot more than Solo versus Roman at this point.
I think that Jacob Fatu would be a much better AEW champion than WWE champion. The reason being, when you're a champion in WWE, you get a lot of mic time. You open shows, you close shows, you promo all the time. And I still haven't seen anything from Jacob Fatu where you can give him a live mic and he can promo for 5, 7, 8 minutes, 10 minutes. It's a lot of yelling. It's a lot of intensity. Love you, Solo. Look. But can he have a mic and captivate 16,000 people by himself like Roman can? I don't know.
So I can tell you a guy who does captivate people and has got his own theme song. He sings it himself. Do you believe in Joe Hendry?
Say his name and he appears. I like Joe Hendry because he trained in Canada. He did a lot of training at Hamilton. He was just here last week doing a show with Destiny. So I like Joe Hendry because he came from the Indies. He trained all over the world, as you hear in his songs. And he's helped a lot of people that I know personally that tell me good stories of working with Joe Hendry. So yeah, I like Joe Hendry. I hope he continues to do well. I hope he develops the gimmick more so that it isn't just 15 minutes and it continues on. But yeah, I like there's a lot worse that we could do than Joe Hendry.
Future WWE champ?
No. Future WWE comedy funny guy, time killer, Elias, right? Like that kind of Orange Cassidy vibes, that kind of thing. That's the vibe I get is that basically. So yeah,
There is a place for wrestling comedy.
100%.
We do like it.
100%. I mean,
Just ask the conglomeration.
just ask R-Truth,
Yeah, he's made a whole career out of it.
right? R-Truth is a great wrestler,
Yes.
great actor, comedian. Like anyone who works with Truth has a good storyline because he's so funny, right? Look at him and Miz going now. So, yeah, no, I like Joe Hendry. He knows what he's doing, and he's a decent wrestler, and yeah, I think he'll do okay. Champion, no, but TV time, yeah.
I'm digging heel Kevin Owens. I like this. I like this. He always seems to come back to this. Is Kevin Owens joining the Bloodline?
No. Kevin Owens is a lone wolf. He'll tell you that, and yeah, we'll see what they do with Kevin Owens because the guy's so talented and he's so good and he's the everyman, right? Everyone who doesn't eat that well and doesn't really go to the gym, Kevin Owens is their guy, right? Look at Kevin Owens. He can do it. And you know what? He can. So I heel, face, champ, having him in the weekly program is great. Not many people have that intensity. And he's also funny. He's a comedy guy too, a little bit when he wants to be. So, yeah, no, KO's great.
Gunther, Cody Rhodes, Crown Jewel. Were you happy that's going to be the main event? I certainly was. I think that's going to be actually a pretty stellar match.
Lots of chops. That's so many chops. But yes, chops, cutters. It's going to be a very predictable match, but I think both of them will put on a good show. Yeah, I mean, like they have how long now to do some promos? A few weeks now to do some promos.
They give them about 2 weeks.
Yeah, right. So they can build it up a little bit.
It's a unique matchup. It's one we haven't seen.
Yeah, it's a unique matchup. Again, I don't know what it does for the brand because now you'll have one that's legitimately better than the other, right? Yeah. So who's the real champ? Was one belt lesser than the other, right? Like it's interesting. It's an interesting thing where they're making the champs fight. However, whatever they want in Saudi is what they get, and I promise you they demanded a champion versus champion match because they love that stuff.
And money
and
talks.
It brings a ton of money.
So when whoever wins the Crown Jewel belt, are they going to be carrying around the Crown Jewel belt as well? Or do you think it's a Crown Jewel belt for that event and you're never going to see that belt again?
Well, as far as I remember, Triple H said there's like 50 carats of diamonds on there. So I don't think any of the other championship belts have real gemstones on them. So you can throw them and I don't know how much you want to walk around with a $500,000 belt on you. You know what I mean? Or however
Floyd
much
Mayweather would.
Yeah, he would. But yeah, I don't know. And then what you have your big oversized Crown Jewel belt with your world champion belt with the Rock's fake belt on the other shoulder.
I don't get that belt.
So yeah, listen, belts on belts. Soon they'll become like AEW.
That's not true.
Where a belt, does you just get a belt for signing up?
Yeah, when you have two members of the 6-man tag champions facing the third member and another partner in a tag team match. I'm so confused.
Yeah.
Last two people as we're finishing off today's episode. So many WWE people to cover off, but Tiffany Stratton, is she cashing on Nia? Is she going to get the belt?
I actually enjoy that storyline surprisingly way more than I thought I would. And it's not even the acting. She's not even good at it. It's just for some reason, like Nia makes it fun. Like she's actually pretty good. And I you know me, I don't want to I'm not a big Nia Jax fan, but she that whole scenario where she's just about to cash in and then she looks at her like what, right? Like I do enjoy that. I think that Stratton is extremely annoying, but that's her character. So she's great. That makes sense?
Absolutely.
Okay, so yeah, all right. Do I like the character? Not so much, but she's incredible at it. So it's very few WWE superstars. You almost think that that's who they are out off stage on their days off. She's one of them, right? But I bet you she's totally different. But great acting does that, right? So, yeah, I like Tiffany Stratton. Is she going to cash in? Absolutely. Eventually she will. When? Who knows? But I think they can take that a little further because when you, it's hard to find something like that is funny for weeks. So, like Sami Zayn was, like that was funny for a long time, the Bloodline. they can keep this running a little bit.
But it's going to be that Nia Jax is annihilated and she'll just come and pin her, or is it Nia Jax loses the belt to someone else and then Tiffany cashes on that other person?
I think it would be. It almost has to be on Nia Jax. Like, it almost has to be. But the way they've been playing it is that she's going to pin the other person and screw Nia Jax that way. But it would be nice to see like a Money in the Bank briefcase to Nia's head, pin 1, 2, 3, and then they feud, right? That's a built-in feud after that for the next one. So there's a lot of options there.
Rumor has it, and last guy, one of my favorites, he really has brought around the WWE workhorse. The guy has wrestled the most matches in the year. Dom Mysterio, Dirty Dom, is WWE gold in Dom's future. Is he bringing some more gold over to his faction? Where do you see Dom Mysterio heading?
Dom is in a good spot. Like, there are so few people in the WWE that don't need to have a belt to be a top star. Seth Rollins, Becky Lynch, Dom Mysterio, right? Those are 3 people that they don't need any belts, any hardware, and they will always be top 3 to top 5 most popular people. And that's because they're so good at what they do, right? So when Seth Rollins has a belt, it's great. But when he doesn't, he's just as exciting, right? Cody Rhodes is the opposite. He's more exciting when he doesn't have a belt. So really depends.
If you're Dom Mysterio and your contract's about to be up and Tony Khan calls you up and says, listen, Dom, I will give you twice what WWE pays you and I will make you the world champ. If you're Dom, do you go to AEW or do you stay put where you are?
I mean, that's not even a question. Simply because of his family and who his father is, he stays at WWE. But even if he didn't have that father, like, if you go ask somebody in AEW if they would turn down basically being guaranteed to be one of the top stars in WWE, and tell me what they say, right? Like, would you rather be a nothing in AEW or the top star every week in WWE? Nah, I'm good.
You know what? The Young Bucks being the EVPs, getting the Reebok shoe deal, if they could get the star that Cody has, they'd be in WWE yesterday.
It's not even close, right? And maybe guys like Edge who have done it, who want to do other things, would say, "Nah, I'm good where I'm happy where I am," and that's fine. But no one can say that they're happier being a mid-carder in AEW than Dom Mysterio in WWE.
Well, stay tuned on that topic because next week we'll be back and we're going to talk about AEW. Lo and behold,
the best. Love it.
Reading my mind. This has been Chosen Life Podcast. He's Mason Rush, and you are
welcome.
Stay tuned.